Hey, welcome back to the series of Accountancy, Chapter 1, Not-Profit Organization. In this video, we're going to learn about a problem. So, the fourth problem. Before starting this problem, this is OBC Online Business Class. If you're still not subscribed, consider it. We also have our Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and other social media pages. Go and check out, join our Telegram page. So, let's start the problem. So, following the balance sheet and receipts and payment account of Vidya Education Trust, this is the balance sheet of the Vidya Education Trust. Balance sheet is like this. They're given outstanding office expenses. Okay. Next, bank loan 35,000, capital fund 1,20,000. In the asset side, they are given cash in hand, furniture, building, sports material. That means sports material is purchased in the last year. Next, they are purchased books for the library. So library books, they're spending 30,000 in the last year balance sheet. So these are the items they are given in the balance sheet of the last year. Next is receipts and payment account. We'll start from receipts side. To balance brought down. This to balance brought down is nothing but the cash in hand of last year. So that will be this amount. Next is subscription. Here, if they are given year-wise distribution of amount, like here they are given 2017-18, that means 2017-18 it's 45,000, 2018 and 19 is 5,000. If they are given like this, that is quite easy. I'll tell you, before analyzing this year, first you need to learn something, that is years. You need to learn which is the current year. I'll put a box here. This is the current year. Imagine if this is a current year, if this is the next year, if this is previous year. Suppose if we consider this problem, 16-17 is the previous year, 17-18 is the present year or current year, 18-19 is next year, is nothing but this is the previous year. You should know this first before going to further. If you don't know this, you can't solve the problem. So just make sure that know what is previous year, what is the next year, or what is the current year. So here you got an idea of what is next year, what is the current year, like that. So here, which is the current year and which is the next year? Here this one is, that means 2017-18 is the current year subscription, 2018 is the next year subscription. You can also find out by looking the last year balance sheet. 31st-3-2017 is the last year balance sheet. That means 2017-18 is current year and 18-19 is the next year. So that means you're only going to enter 45,000 in income and expenditure account. You're not going to enter this 5,000 in income and expenditure account. You will be entering this 5,000 18-19. Instead of saying advance subscription, they're given in this manner, so it doesn't make that difference. If they're given previous year subscription, saying that subscription 16-17 like 2,000 rupees, like that, you should not consider it anywhere because its effort is already taken in the last year balance sheet. That's why we are not going to consider that 2,000 if there was a 2,000. So here now 45,000 you will be considering an income and expenditure account, and 18-19 will be going to the balance sheet, so nothing else. Here is this thing. Okay, next is entrance fees. Entrance fees we'll be posting as it is because we don't have any adjustment for entrance fees. So okay, next donation, 12,000 rupees donation. If there is any adjustment, we'll go through that. In adjustment, 12,000 has been received from the donation. Next is interest. From interest they're getting 5,000 rupees. Okay, now we finish all the receipts. We're moving on to the payment side. In the payment side, starting with office expenses. Office expenses, again they are categorized into 2 years, that is 2016 and 17, 17 and 18. Here 2016 and 17 is nothing but previous year, so previous year is nothing but that should be given in the balance sheet of last year. Check office expenses 5,000 is in the balance sheet of last year. Yes, there is an office expenses outstanding, which this effort has been done in the last year. So this item won't be considering in income and expenditure account, so don't consider this amount. Next is 2017-18, that means 2017-18 amount has been given. 2017-18 says current year expenses should be taken, or current year office expenses should be taken in income and expenditure account. Next, printing and stationery, they are spending for the printing and stationery 600 rupees. Okay, we'll be considering how it should be. So next, by salary 25,000. Okay, if there is any adjustment regarding salary, we'll consider it later in the adjustment. Next is by purchase of book. Purchase of book is an expenses. Okay, this expenses is capital in nature, that's why we are not going to consider in income and expenditure account, but we'll be adding to the balance sheet of this year. Next is bank loan repaid. So here this bank loan is also on a capital expenditure, that's why we are not making an entry in these two. Entry won't be appearing in income and expenditure account, purchase of book and bank loan prepaid. Next, buy subscription to newspaper. Subscription to newspaper is a common thing, a common expenses, so we'll be considering as it is 600 in the income and expenditure account. Next, by balance carry down. This balance carry down will be affected in balance sheet, not in the income and expenditure account. Very simple problem, nothing complicated except this year-wise distribution. Next, moving on to the adjustment. In adjustment, the first adjustment is subscription outstanding 5,000 rupees. This subscription outstanding should be recorded in two accounts. That is, first one is income and expenditure account and other one is balance sheet. So in income and expenditure account, add to subscription. In the balance sheet, record in asset side. Asset side, you will be recording this 5,000. Because of this outstanding subscription is not came, you will be recording in the balance sheet in the asset side. In income and expenditure account, we will be adding to subscription. Next is salary prepaid. Salary prepaid. Even though they are paying 2,500, we should not add to income and expenditure account, because we should subtract from the salary. We have 25,000 salary, in that we have to subtract 5,000 rupees, because of this is not the current year expenses. This expenses is related to the next year, they are paying in advance, so this 2,500 will not be added, that will be minused or subtracted from salary. Next is capitalize 50% of entrance fees and 100% of donation. So 50% of entrance fees, so entrance fees is 8,000. In this 8,000 you need to capitalize 50%, that means half of this means is 4,000 will be recorded in income and expenditure account, and another 4,000 will be recorded in balance sheet, so that part is over. Next is donation. 100% donation is to be capitalized, so the whole 12,000 will be transferred to balance sheet, you won't recording in income and expenditure account, that's it. Next, building depreciation 10%. so this building has to be affected in two accounts, that is, one is in income and expenditure account and other one is balance sheet. In income and expenditure account, you will be recording 10%, that means 10% means building is 70,000. For 70,000, 10% is nothing but 7,000. In balance sheet, for 70,000 minus 7,000. Okay, we'll be recording 7,000 in income and expenditure account, only the depreciation amount, but in the balance sheet you need to subtract that 7,000. That's it, simple problem. So this is a question, they asked to prepare the income and expenditure account for the year ending 31st March 2018. So the balance sheet of Vidya Education Trust. Here we'll start a problem. Just put debtors, creditors, income and expenditure account for the year ending 31st March. Put the heading Vidya Education Trust, expenditure amount, income amount. So starting with first, by payment side, by office expenses. So consider this office expenses. We should only consider this amount, not this amount, because that's a last year which is already affected in the last year balance sheet. We should only consider this year office expenses. So write office expenses 2017-18 17,000. Next, this is over. Next, printing and stationery expenses 600. Check whether we have an adjustment for the printing. No, we don't have any adjustment, so post it as it is 600. So 600 printing and stationery. Next, by salary 25,000. Check whether we have any adjustment regarding the salary. Yes, we have an adjustment for the salary. So what is that? Salary prepaid rupees 2,500. That means you need to deduct, it's a next year expenses, not this year expenses, so that's why we're not adding it, we're subtracting it. So to salary less salary prepaid 2500. Write in the outer column, subtract this amount 22,500. Next is by purchase of book. Like I already discussed about this 10,000 won't appear in income and expenditure account because it's a capital in nature. And next is by bank loan prepaid. This is also capital in nature. That's why these two items won't be appearing in income and expenditure account. So this two item will be cancelled and this item will also be cancelling. Next is subscription to newspaper. Subscription to newspaper 600 rupees. So look whether we have any adjustment for the subscription to newspaper. We don't have any adjustment. Just write to subscription to newspaper 600 rupees as it is. Nothing is changed. Next we have balance carried on. Balance carried on will be affected in or will be transferred to the balance sheet. We are not writing in income and expenditure account, so that's it. Next, come to adjustment part. Check whether we have any expenses. Yes, we have an adjustment regarding the building depreciation as an expense, so consider this. Write building depreciation. In the last year balance sheet, they purchased building 70,000. Okay, for this 70,000, 10%, that means 10 divided by 100 into 70,000, amount will be 7,000 rupees. That means the depreciation of building will be 7,000. So now we clear all the payment side item. We are coming back to the receipt item. To balance brought down. This to balance brought down won't be considering in income and expenditure account because it's already affected in the last year balance sheet. So next, to subscription. To subscription we have two year amount. One is 2017-18 and other one is 18-19. This is the current year subscription. This is the next year subscription or advance subscription received in advance 5,000 rupees. We should not consider this item here. We should consider this item in the balance sheet. So now we will not be considering it. We're only considering 45,000. Check whether we have an adjustment regarding the subscription. Yes, we have an adjustment regarding the subscription, saying that subscription outstanding 5,000 rupees you need to add in income and expenditure account. So in income side, by subscription write 17-18. That means you're only writing 17-18 subscription, 45,000 in your column. So 45,000 less, that means subtract by outstanding. This 5,000 is from the adjustment, this adjustment. So write 5,000. Next, we have an entrance fees 8,000 rupees. Check whether we have an adjustment regarding the entrance fees. Yes, we already went through adjustment saying that capitalized 50% entrance fees. So you should only consider half of the 8,000. So half of the 8,000 means come back to income and expenditure account the current year. By entrance fees 50% capitalized, 50 into 100 of 8,000 or 1 by 2 into 8,000. So both are the same. Just write the amount, that is half of 8,000 is 4,000. Just write 4,000 here. So by entrance fees is over now. Next is donation. So donation, check whether we have any adjustment regarding for the donation as 100% capitalized of donation. So the whole thing will be capitalized. You're not writing in income and expenditure account. So this item won't be appearing in income and expenditure account. Next is to interest. That means from the interest they're getting 5,000 rupees. Check whether they have any entry regarding the interest. No, they don't have any entries. So just post as it is by interest. So 5,000. Now you completed income and expenditure account. Very simple. So go and calculate the income side amount and expenditure side amount. Income side amount will be the higher. We get 59,000 because from subscription we are getting 50,000. So with all this we get 59,000. If you subtract from the expenditure side, you will get 11,300 as a surplus. So the surplus is 11,300. This will be adding to the balance sheet capital fund. So it will be adding to the capital fund. Remember this 11,300. Okay. First go back to the balance sheet of last year. Starting with asset side, cash in hand, they have 15,000. Don't record this cash in hand. Student often confused, they'll record 15,000 cash in hand to the next year balance sheet. This cash in hand should not be recorded 15,000. Instead of that, You should record by balance carry down 26,800 as cash in hand for this year. So in the asset side, write cash in hand. Okay, cash in hand 26,800. This is from by balance carry down of this year receipts and payment account. Okay, or nothing but balance carry down. Okay, now back to the last year balance sheet. Next item is furniture. So furniture 25,000. Check whether they have any purchase of new furniture. No, they haven't purchased anything yet. So check whether in the adjustment they have any adjustment regarding the furniture. No, then just record as it is. So furniture 25,000 as it is, nothing is going to change. Next is building. Check whether they purchased a building. No, they are not purchased any building in the payment section. So check whether any depreciation regarding the building in the adjustment. Yes, we have a depreciation 10%. So this 10% should be subtracted. We already gave an effect in the income and expenditure account. You can look here. We already made an effect for 7,000 rupees depreciation of building. That should be subtracted now. Write building in inner column 70,000. Subtract 7,000. Write 63,000 in outer column. So building is now over. Next, sports material purchase. Look whether they have purchased any sports material this year. No, they are not purchased any sports material. So write as it is, sports material. Nothing will be going to change. 20,000 rupees. Next item in the balance sheet, library books. Library books is 30,000. They purchased books for the library worth of 30,000 in the last year. Check in this year they purchased any library books. I think they purchased books. Yes, they purchased book. Here you can look 10,000 rupees purchase of books. This 10,000 rupees plus old 30,000 will be added. Before that, check whether any adjustment regarding the books. No, there is no adjustment, nothing. Move back to the current year balance sheet. Write library books 30,000 plus add this to 10,000. Write 40,000 in outer column saying library books. Next, back to the balance sheet of last year. We cleared all the asset item. Next, check whether in adjustment we have any leftover incomes. So we have two entries here. One is subscription outstanding 5,000. If you got any adjustment like this, you need to enter into accounts, that is income and expenditure account, and other one is a balance sheet. So we already posted in income and expenditure account. Now we have to post in balance sheet. Post outstanding subscription of 2017-18, that means 2017-18, 5,000 rupees. Don't confuse this 5,000 and this 5,000. This 5,000 is an advance. Don't write this advance. I'll tell you where you should consider the advance. Right now it's only the adjustment item we are recording. We need to enter other item. So next, we have any income for this current year. We have a salary prepaid 2,500. If you paid 2,500 salary in advance, now it's an expense, but for the next year you are minimizing your expenses, so that will be considered as assets, or that will be posted to assets. So write this 2,500 salary prepaid to asset side, salary prepaid 2,500. Now we cleared all the items regarding the asset side. Now moving on to the liability side. Come back to the balance sheet of the last year. Liability side, we have an outstanding office expenses. This is already posted. It's a last year. Don't worry about now. If there is any advance or if any outstanding which is given in the adjustment, that time only you should consider. So don't post anywhere this 5,000. Next is bank loan. So bank loan, we have 35,000 bank loan you should pay. This is capital in nature, that's why we are not posted anywhere. So bank loan, check whether they have any entries regarding the bank loan in receipts and payment account. Yes, they made an entry saying that bank loan repaid. They're paying back to the bank 5,000 rupees. Out of 35,000, they cleared 5,000 loan. So what you should do, come to the balance sheet of this year, make an entry bank loan 35,000 less, because you already paid that 5,000, so subtract it, write 30,000. So bank loan is over here. Next is capital fund. Capital fund, you know what to add to capital fund. Capital fund is nothing but this fund 1,20,000, write first 1,20,000. After that I will say what to write. Capital fund 1,20,000, then add surplus. Where you can find surplus? In just above, in income and expenditure account, we already discussed here 11,300. Just write 11,300 here. This is an capital fund addition. Next, if any capitalized item, if you look at the adjustment here, I'll delete all this first. If you look at the adjustment, capitalized item of 50% entrance fees and 100% donation should be capitalized. That means you should enter 50% of entrance fees in balance sheet and 100% of donation. So capitalized of 50% entrance fees means in 8,000 we need to enter 4,000 rupees in the balance sheet and 4,000 rupees in income and expenditure account. We already did that. So now 4,000 is remaining. Write 4,000. Then donation 12,000. So whole 12,000 and 4,000 will be recording in the balance sheet. So come to the balance sheet, record entrance fees, add, that should be recorded as adding, add or plus 4,000 as entrance fees, then add donation. So donation 12,000 rupees. Sum it up, write in outer column 1,47,300 you will get. So next, back to the balance sheet of last year, we cleared all the items from the last year. So check whether there is an advance income we got, because the income of next year is already came this year. That means it's a liability, because next year we are not going to get that income. So that's an liability for us. So we have an entry, we already discussed about that, 2018-19 5,000. so this is the entry we should enter. So write this 5,000 because 18-19 is the next year. Next year means advance subscription. So advance subscription is liability for us because we already taking to our account, but that actual income should be appear in the next year. So add subscription received in advance 5,000 rupees. So now we completed all the items. Just sum it up. You will get 1,82,300 rupees as a balance figure, or you should get tally for 1,82,300. So simple, nothing much complicated except the division of years here they're given. Except this, you should make consider of 5,000 a little bit careful, and this 2,500 that should be entered in two different accounts, and that's all. For the confusion, they are given this amount office expenses of last year that should not be considered anywhere. So simple. If you like this video, hit like and share with your friends. Click here to watch the next series. Like always, see you in the next series. Bye.